Hello there, all of you beautiful peoples of the interwebs, and welcome to Music Time, which is, for those of you who don't know, the time where I talk about music. And, so this is a review of the new Fall Out Boy album, which is released in a week. One thing I want to say before I really get into it is that with this album, there was a lot of hype for it. There was a lot of pressure, for it to be a good album because it's their first album in several years, they just came back together. This is their first album in a while. People expected it to be good, and they released, songs like The Phoenix, Young Volcanoes, and Light 'Em Up. And those were all really good songs, and everybody was hyped for this, including me. I was looking forward to it. I loved their last album, Folie à Deux. I think that's how you say it. Might be butchering the title, but whatever. Anyway, so I was really looking forward to it, but I must say that I was disappointed. And you're about to find why. As I go track by track. The best songs, in my opinion, are The Phoenix and My Songs Know What You Did in the Dark. And both of these songs are songs that, will pump you up. They're catchy. There's something you can dance to, bop your head up and down, all that stuff. And focusing, though, on The Phoenix, which is, by the way, these are the first two tracks on the thing. The Phoenix is the first one. And one of the things I love about this track is, I think that My Songs Know What You Did in the Dark is the better song. In fact, I think it's the best song in the entire album. But I'm so glad they opened with The Phoenix because I just love the ideology and symbol of a phoenix rising, because it's a great way to introduce not only the album, but to reintroduce the band, Rising Phoenix. And yeah, it was a really good song. And then My Songs Know What You Did in the Dark, like I was saying, that's a good song right there. That's the first song of their release. Is what got people hyped and got them excited, and it's a good song. I was a fan of it. And then track 3, Alone Together, is a track that has a nice little feel good vibe to it, and it's something you could dance to a bit. And I was a fan of it. It's a nice track. It's good. It's not great. It's not as good as the first two tracks, but it's good. But one issue I had with this, I couldn't really put my finger on it, but it feels like there's something missing from the track. It's almost like, they recorded the track, they mixed it together, they almost got it to as good as it could have been, but then they just didn't. To me, this seems like a track that's not finished, but is very close to it. It's on the path, but just missing one little thing in the background, Maybe it's a lion going raw, maybe it's like the noise of just Slender Man being choked while smashed in the face with a guitar. That wasn't supposed to rhyme, but it did. Anyways, so it felt like something was missing. And then the next song, Where Did the Party Go? The first thing that really any fan of Fall Out Boy will notice is that the bass in the beginning is extremely similar, possibly even the exact same as that in their, previous song, Dance Dance. Which, that's nice, it's like, eh. But aside from that, I found the song just, way too repetitive. And also sounded like, some generic radio song. Something that, 5-year-olds and their moms would listen to, in the car, on the radio. It's just, I don't know. It just wasn't for me. It wasn't awful, but I wasn't a fan. So the next song, Just One Yesterday, has the same issue that most, in my opinion, of the songs on this album have, which is that it's a good song, but it's forgettable and it just blends in with the rest of the album. Then after that is The Mighty Fall, which has a strong start, and I liked that, but soon it has the same issue as the last one. It becomes repetitive, forgettable, and just really in the end, not too great. And same with the song after that, Missing You. They all have this pattern you can see where it's a good song, but it blends in with everything else. These all good songs, doesn't get you pumped up, but it doesn't go all slow, doesn't get you depressed. It has a feel-good feeling to it, but it's not pulled off quite right. And it's okay, it's not great. And I feel like it blends in. And then the next song, Death Valleys, it sort of mixes things up a bit, where it's the first song in probably 10-ish minutes that you actually notice that, the tracks have changed. It has a strong start, it's faster paced, it's not as good as The Phoenix or My Songs Know What You Did in the Dark, which those ones, get you pumped up, but it's still a good song. And then After Death Valley is one of my favorite songs on the album, Young Volcanoes. And when I first heard this, which was back on Friday, I was a huge fan of it. Still am, I love it. And one of the things I like is, it's not a slow song, but it's one of the slower songs on the album. And like I was saying before, a bunch of songs on the album have a feel-good vibe coming off of it. But this song does it right. And, you know, there's claps that set a nice beat in the song. And then also, the vocals on the song are not only, you know, great sounding, but they're also very well written. I was a fan of the lyrics in here. And yeah, although to be fair, I've not looked at them too closely, but from the parts that I was listening closely to, I'm like, oh yeah, I like that. Anyways, then, right after Young Volcanoes, they make what I consider to be the biggest mistake in the entire album, and they put the song Rat-a-Tat right next to it, which Young Volcanoes sort of felt like to me, you know, it's like you could see they put Young Volcanoes in the right spot. You know, the last couple songs, it's the third last song, maybe it could have been the second last, but you know, it's slowing down the album. You know, it's like, all right, so the last half hour or so, it's been fun. You know, we've danced, we've sung, we've done all these things. You know, sure, some of the songs may have blended in, but it was a good ride. And now, you know, we're driving back, we're on the road, you know, the sun is falling, the moon is starting to come out, it's good, you know, the kids in the back are starting to go to sleep, all of that nice stuff, you know, you're driving off to dreamland, in that, well, you're not really about to dream, but you're getting there, you know, it's like, you take your first few yawns, like, oh, I'm tired, and then the song Rat-a-Tat comes. And, you know, on your sweet little slow car ride to dreamland, you know, you're driving like, oh, this is nice, this is nice. Then someone throws a raccoon at your car. And it just comes out of nowhere, we're like, why is there a raccoon here? And it's a fast song, and it does not belong here. And it's like, get out of here, raccoon. You should have been in the center of the album, not near the end. And it just, it wasn't good. But, well, it was a good song. I just had issue with the pacing of it, and the way it was set where it was. But one thing I did like about it is it was semi-successful, you know, could have done it better, but it was semi-successful in mixing, you know, like a sort of energetic sound with songs like The Phoenix and My Songs Know What You Did in the Dark, with some of the, you know, the feel-good vibes from, you know, previous songs on the album. I was a fan of that. I just was not a fan of, it just felt like a wrong, I don't know why they did it. It just felt like the wrong place to put the song. Anyway, so the final song, Save Rock and Roll, which features Elton John, was a good song. I was a fan of it. It's, you know, if you know me and my music taste, I'm a fan of when there's an outro. You know, I don't want things to just stop. I want it to be an outro. It doesn't have to, you know, necessarily go straight down, like, you know, all the way to the bottom. But I want things to slow down a lot. And this does that, except, and I'm a fan of that, it could have been better, but it does that, it does it nicely, I like it, not perfect, but nice. But one issue I did have with the song, though, is that Elton John, I haven't really listened to any Elton John music, so I'm not familiar with his work. And maybe if you are an Elton John fan, you might appreciate his cameo in the song, but I felt like it was out of place, you know? Just his voice did not sound like it fit with the song very well. That's my complaint. So anyway, so those are all the songs on the album, and all in all, I'm giving it a 6 out of 10 because it was a good album. It wasn't great, it wasn't awful, but there were definitely some great, amazing songs on the album, but they're just mixed in with too many bland and forgettable songs that just mixed in, I don't know. But one thing I'm going to say, though, before I end this, is that I think that, you know, like I said, I'm giving the album a 6 out of 10, but if instead of releasing an album, you know, for this, if instead they just released, like, a 4-song EP with, you know, the best bits, you know, Young Volcanoes, Phoenix, My Songs Know What You Did in the Dark, maybe something else, then the album would have easily gone, like, you know, an 8 or a 9 out of 10, just because there are great songs on the album, but there's also ones that just I didn't feel like they mattered. They didn't make a personal connection to me. Anyway, so that's what I thought. Tell me what you think in the comments below. And please no hate comments towards either Fall Out Boy or myself, or really anybody else. Because I've been getting those on my MyChem video, and that's not cool. Anyway, so that's all. I will talk to you later, and you've been watching Music Time. Goodbye. With Music Time! La 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 la, Music Time! La 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 la, Music Time! La 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 la, Music Time! Goodbye. See you next week.